This week we're talking about Constantine with Keanu Reeves, so strap in on your positive review with Ryan
and Kamea.
Play my iPad when I go to bed, just a movie that's on there.
What the
and
heck?
I played Mary Poppins.
I love that movie.
It's a good movie. And I woke up at the part when she's packing up, and she says to the kid, because the movie's obviously about them saving Mr. Banks, which was what the Saving Mr. Banks movie was about.
Right.
But Mary Poppins says to the kids, I think the kids say, "But don't you love us?" when she's leaving, and they're all sad that she's leaving. And she says, "But what would happen to me if I loved all the children I left?" That's like the most depressing. That's what she says, or something to that effect.
Jeez.
Yeah, that's like super depressing.
Yeah.
And then at the end, when she's actually leaving, the little parrot head on her umbrella says that he knows that she loves them, and she's like, practically perfect people don't stay that way with affection, or something to that effect too.
Well, I feel like she's being facetious. Like, she just says that to sort of cover up the fact that of course she loves them, and I think that they get that.
Yeah, so I don't know, I kind of hope that the new movie delves into that, the new Mary Poppins movie.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that's like a really depressing statement that she said to the kids. But I mean, they don't care because they get their dad back in the end, and that's what
mattered.
Yeah, that's what they really wanted. Anyway, who are you?
I am the one who spawned these two. Wow. I am and will forever be Mom.
Yes.
AKA
Sabrina.
Yeah. So now we have our special guest this week. Next week we will probably not have a special guest because it's just going to be us two. But anyway.
Sad.
So what did we do this week?
We went to California. That's where we did our last podcast from. And we saw the Phantom of the Opera at the San Diego Civic Theater.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Woo!
It was pretty freaking sweet.
It was so
amazing.
Good. My only one complaint was that they were just on the floor a lot.
Acting.
Yeah, but she constantly just like fell on the floor. Like, I was like, "Are you Disney princess?" Like Disney princesses, like when they start crying, they like fling themselves on a bed or a rock. I felt like that's what I mean, it wasn't. That was my only complaint with it. Was like, and then when they were singing "All I Ask of You," like she's like on her knees, and then Rao gets on his knees, and he's like doing this weird knee walk. I was like, stop! It was so weird.
The acting was pretty good.
It was really good. Was the singing.
Oh yeah. I think because the only plays I've really seen have been like school plays.
Yeah, like high school.
I was kind of expecting a low budget deal, but that definitely wasn't the case.
No.
No, that was a really good performance. I agree with all the floor sweeping there, but
yeah,
it has to be really dramatic when it's right in front of you. It's a different thing if you're watching it on a screen. So yeah, I got it.
Yeah, because in a movie it's on a screen, so the acting can be more nuanced, but in a play. And I think this is the same mentality in wrestling. It's like they're playing to the people in the back of the room.
Oh.
So, I mean, if you sit closer, it looks like they're being ridiculous. But in the back, you can see what's going on.
Right.
So, it was cool. But the frickin' set with the rotating...
Yeah, that was amazing.
Really good.
And the singing, I
know.
I was blown away by the singing.
I mean, the Phantom was no Gerard Butler, but...
Yeah.
He did.
I don't know. He was really
well.
good, though.
Yeah.
He was like 8 feet tall.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But it was interesting because I didn't even realize it at first, but the Phantom was played by a black guy.
I didn't realize that either, and I was like, what the heck? I realized halfway through, and I was like, has he been black this whole time? And I was like, wow, I really don't see color.
Yeah, look at you. You're woke.
He was outstanding, I thought.
He was really good, but I'm just saying, like...
Well, I think it adds to the story, too, because it makes more sense for him to then be... I mean,
that's
he's
what I was
black
thinking,
and
because
deformed.
at first I was like, okay, he's black, and I was like, oh, wait, like, it actually is realistic.
Yeah, because he'd be
because
even
he'd
more
be even
persecuted.
more, yeah.
I was a little sad they didn't do the... Like, some of the singing didn't match with the movie, which is, I mean, where we get our image, I think, of the Phantom of the Opera.
Yeah.
I think we can agree on that, is the Joel Schumacher movie. But, like, when he says go now, he just, like, kind of screams it, as opposed to Gerard Butler's
really
go
good.
now thing.
Oh, he sang it?
Yeah, he's singing.
Oh, Gerard. I always thought that's so good, though.
Yeah, but he didn't, the play guy didn't do that.
Oh, right.
He just screamed,
Okay.
go now!
I don't know, I kind of like the fact that it because I love the movie.
Yeah.
But I like the fact that they made those roles their own.
Yes.
I really like that, and so I wasn't constantly thinking about the movie when I was watching it, so I appreciated that.
I mean, overall it was super good. If whoever's listening, the 5 people that watched the show are listening and haven't had a chance to go see it.
One of them has like 26 views. I was like, dang, we're basically famous. So to all 26 of you.
I think we've got some ground to cover, but it's a good start.
I think we're good. That's all I need.
Guess what next, Maya?
Shut up. Are you seriously going to talk about all these?
Okay, just really quick, just because if anybody listening has a PS4, you should really get the Kingdom Hearts collection. I just finished. See, I've never played these before, so this is all new territory for me. But Birth by Sleep is like a prequel. It's really good. You play as 3 different characters. You go through the story at 3 different times, and you see 3 different sides to the whole story. It's pretty good. And then Recoded was a movie that was freaking confusing and made no sense. And then I just started Dream Drop Distance, which is the first one that's an actual continuation of the story, and it's really interesting. It's got some really cool ideas. Anyway, also, for any horror fans out there, I will subscribe to Crypt TV on YouTube and watch their series on the Look-See. He's like this Slender Man looking guy, but he's got a mouth and red gloves.
What the?
And it's unclear, but he torments people who have problems letting go. But he also seems like a jerk. Because one of the people, like, their son dies, and like 2 days later, he's like, frickin' get over it. And it's like, hold on.
A minute.
Yeah. But you know that the Look-See's coming after you if you see the message. If you yourself cannot release, then it will come to take a piece.
What?
So, like, all these people, like, the first episode is this lady running into a bathroom, and she's, like, fiddling with her wedding ring, and it shows her being proposed to, and then you're not sure what happened to the husband, but then the Look-See is in the bathroom with her, and then when she doesn't get rid of it, it frickin' mangles her and removes her wedding ring hand. So, Crypt TV, it's pretty good. They release like 3 videos a week. Granted, they're all like under 10 minutes. It's pretty impressive. And the production value, the friggin' prosthetic work on Mr. Look-See is really good.
Well, I will take your word for it.
Yeah. Not interested.
Anyway, so now, frickin' main event time. So, this week we're talking about Constantine, starring Keanu Reeves, Rachel Weisz, or
Is she
Weisz.
in The Mummy?
Yeah.
Did I get that right?
She
Okay.
is.
Yeah. Super attractive.
Sometimes.
Very attractive lady. Married to James Bond.
Wait, what?
Which James Bond?
Daniel Craig.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Long time now.
She's
Good for you guys.
Keep
She's
it up.
supposed to be married to Brendan Fraser.
Oh,
Thanks for ruining that for me, Mom.
She lives in England and he's Canadian. I'm
Dude,
not sure
he
if
just-
that's gonna work.
He just got cast in a TV show.
Oh, I think I saw that.
Yeah, a DC TV
That's
show.
cool
Yeah.
because he's really cool
nothing.
and
because
hasn't
really
been
cool
around recently.
Yeah.
You go, Brendan Fraser.
Anyways,
So this is the first movie we're covering that's rated R. I thought it was actually rated PG-13, and then when I looked it up, I was like, "Freaking A!"
Some pretty disturbing images in it. I don't know.
it does.
And
It's not that scary though. Like I wasn't scared by it. I don't know.
Yeah, all those possessions and the faces and the girl crawling on the wall. Oh, did we do spoiler alert?
Oh, freaking
yeah.
dude!
Spoiler warning.
No. Well, this isn't the spoiler yet.
Oh, okay.
So
just
anyway,
kidding.
well, yeah, okay. Anyway, rated R for violence and demonic images. Language not mentioned, even though there was a pretty decent amount of language.
Yeah.
It wasn't terrible, but but I mean, still, it didn't even include there was no brief language or mild language in the rating. It was just violence and demonic images. Came out February 18th, 2005.
5.
Wow.
Yes, she figured it out.
Look at me learning things. Growing.
Yay. So, I think most people are woke, though. Because the critic score is 46% on Rotten Tomatoes. Audience score is 72. And
come on.
IMDb
Oh.
gave it a 7.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah. Usually they only go 5 or 6. But it's pretty high on IMDb, which is impressive.
So I'm sorry, let me just interrupt here for a minute. So Rotten Tomatoes, so the critics said 46% bad? Is that what that means?
Yeah, it means the movie's rotten. Anything below, I think, 60% is rotten.
Oh, okay. But the audience gave it 72%, which means it wasn't rotten to the audience.
Yes.
Right.
It means that normal people like the movie.
Okay, got it.
Critics are just pretentious.
Thanks for explaining that.
Yeah. That's kind of the point
Most of the time,
this,
yes.
is that we're arguing with the perception. I think it mostly started with Batman vs. Superman. And Rotten Tomatoes got a little big for their britches. And they started doing, with Justice League, I think they've done it with a couple movies where it's we're releasing our score at midnight. And it's who the frick cares?
Who's reading this?
And then, the whole Justice League, Batman vs. Superman debacle just made me angry. So I think that's where the idea of this whole thing spawned from in my head. Anyway, $100 million budget.
Jeez.
Box office in the U.S. was $75 million.
Wow.
It lost.
That's not
pretty
in
decent
the
amount of
U.S.
money. Yeah, worldwide it made its money.
Right.
So
Well, that's good.
It wasn't a complete bomb. It made $230 million worldwide.
Girl,
but
I'll be thinking about you worldwide.
Okay. Now the summary, really quickly, and then we'll do spoiler stuff. So, the story of irreverent supernatural detective John Constantine, who has literally been to hell and back. When Constantine teams up with skeptical policewoman Angela Dodson to solve the mysterious suicide of her twin sister, their investigation takes them through the world of demons and angels that exists just beneath the landscape of contemporary Los Angeles. Caught in a catastrophic series of otherworldly events, the two become inextricably involved and seek to find their own peace at whatever cost. I wanted to do that in one breath, and it didn't really work.
That's a
pretty long
big
summary.
breath.
Yeah. And that was written by some unit publicist at Warner Brothers. I think that's the official synopsis. Good movie. Shall we... Oh, yeah. Before we get into spoilers, Maya, what did you think of the movie?
It's fine. Good. I don't know. Entertaining.
Mom, what did you think of the movie?
I don't know. That theology seems a little off to me, but,
Yes.
It's a movie, and it was definitely entertaining. Definitely one of my favorite Keanu Reeves movies, so...
Good guy, Keanu.
I think that he excels in those types of roles where he is the hero, if somewhat misunderstood and maybe a little bit undirected, I guess. He's not quite sure where he's going. So very Neo-ish, I guess. Mm-hmm. So I think that he excels at that type of role. So I enjoy this movie.
Yeah, I like this movie. I liked this movie the first time I saw it. And, the more I watch it, I think the more I like it. Go watch it. You can probably pick it up at Target for $5 on DVD.
True.
I've actually never seen this movie there.
Well, when we go there later today, maybe we'll take a look.
Yeah, we'll let you guys know.
But it's also on Netflix.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's right.
So you can just watch it on there. Okay, now spoilers.
Spoiler Oh, I have to snap. Spoiler warning, spoiler warning. This is your spoiler warning. Sorry, guys, I'm sick today, so...
So, this movie was based on the Hellblazer comics, written by notorious psychopath Alan Moore.
Why is he a psychopath?
Because he, this is unconfirmed, but one of the channels I follow, they make this joke constantly about Alan Moore in an interview, and somebody asked him about religion, and he's like, yeah, I don't know, I'm kind of worshiping this snake god thing right now. It's probably garbage, but... And it's like, what? But he wrote Watchmen. He wrote, he did a really famous run of Swamp Thing. He wrote The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
That's a good one.
I thought you hated that movie.
No, I like that movie.
What movie? What did you just say?
The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Oh, yeah.
We should feature that one.
Yeah, it's got 17% on Rotten Tomatoes. We're going to do it at some point.
17%?
Yeah.
Jeez.
And the audience scores only 44%.
Oh my goodness.
I'm part of the 44. Anyway.
Who actually takes their time after they see a movie to go rate it on something? Because I've never rated any of the movies I've watched before.
Yeah, people do.
I mean, I guess now we are.
Yeah, we're just doing a different format. What was I talking about?
The author.
Alan Moore. So... And then he also removed his credit from all things he's involved in because he hates Hollywood, and so anytime they adapt, he's not credited for Watchmen in the credits. He wasn't credited for Constantine in the credits.
That seems a little extreme.
Yeah.
If you do something, I mean, you don't have to sit there and be an egotist about it, but you should get credit for it.
And he looks like a hobo.
That's fine.
Long beard.
Be you
in a suit with
still
finger armor,
and I don't even see why a production company would agree with him. I guess if he asked it, but it's no, you did this, I'm gonna give you credit. I mean,
yeah, I don't know. Anyway, and so I think that a lot of people don't like that because Constantine in the comics looks like Sting from The Police and is British, and Keanu Reeves is very much neither of those things.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, well, that too. So they actually apparently tried shopping around the script, and nobody paid attention to it until they changed it to Keanu Reeves and set it in Los Angeles. So...
What?
Yeah. So people wanted to see American Constantine, not British Constantine. Even though they did a TV show that was actually really good, and the guy who plays Constantine does a really good job. But it's a traditional Constantine. But I hate Constantine in the comics. I have a bunch of comics with Constantine. He's an awful person.
Oh,
and he's not really a great person in this movie, but he at least has a heroic story arc.
Yes.
In the comic books, he's always a scumbag. And it's I hate you. I don't know why. And he's the focal point of one of the comics I like. Anyway. But yeah, so I think that's also where some of the complaints come from. People just didn't like that it strayed too far from the source material. I thought the story was told really well. Because, the synopsis basically explained the story. He meets this girl, they're trying to figure out the suicide, and then they have to battle demons and an angel and the devil and come out the other side okay. The story I thought was told really well because whenever they're explaining something, like when they explain that John has cancer, it's done in a conversation with his doctor, and it's done naturally. They're having, you can tell that they have history, that they've been doctor-patient for some time.
Yes, I think she mentioned 10 years ago. Dude, kids don't smoke.
Well, I think that I got the impression that she was the doctor who saved his life.
Yeah.
When he committed suicide.
Oh, that's not what I
Because you said you saved my life before.
Okay,
so.
That's not... Yeah.
That's not what I thought. I thought that he had already had a surgery, because then you also see he has a weird scar on his stomach.
I think that's just hair.
And I'm pretty sure it's his scar.
Oh, maybe. I thought it was his hair.
No, it was definitely reddish.
Oh.
So I thought that he had gotten surgery Like, I don't know, they replaced his lungs once before or something.
I don't know.
I don't know.
That, but...
Well, if he's been smoking, what did Gabriel say? 3 packs of cigarettes a day since he was 15?
That's what the doctor said.
Oh, Gabriel said that.
How do you even afford that? That's so expensive.
Steal them.
What?
He's a 15-year-old kid. He's not supposed to be smoking in the first place.
Oh. I meant, like, as an adult. I just...
Oh. Well, he's a demon deporter. Maybe he charges for his services.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. When you're doing that kind of work, you're probably in demand, and there's not a lot of competition. Anyway. But yeah, I hate when when they explain things in that really annoying way. Like, they do it in TV shows a lot, because TV shows are weekly, they're episodic, so they have to explain what's been going on. So, like, when people would talk in a TV show, if their dad had just gotten out of jail, they're like, "Hey, how's it going, Mark? I heard your dad just got out of prison. How's he doing?" People don't talk like that. If you know that you'd go up, "Hey, Mark, how's your dad?" That's how people talk.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I don't like when exposition's done that way. It annoys me. Anyway.
Okay.
They freaking used Take 5 in the movie, too. That jazz song.
Yeah.
When Beeman
Great
shows
piece
up
of
the first
music.
time. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, sure.
Just friggin'... Yeah, that thing.
Who's Beeman?
His
The
buddy.
guy in
The guy who gets covered
Him
with
stuff.
flies.
Yeah.
Oh,
Who gives him
right,
the-
okay.
Yeah.
Who just brings the stuff to him. I don't know. Apparently he doesn't have to pay for any of it. Whatever.
The buddies. Oh, Mom.
But yeah, pause this video, go listen to Take 5, type in Take 5 in YouTube. Oh, frick. Hopefully it comes up. Anyway. One of the complaints that I saw on Rotten Tomatoes was somebody complaining about the quote-unquote, the gallows humor. I thought it was funny.
I thought it was, like, very dry sense of humor and very dark, but it was, like, because it's, like, when he's talking to the girl, Angela, and she said that her sister killed herself, and he was like, "Oh, yeah, like, crazy for a mental patient to kill themselves." Yeah. And it took me a second, I was like, "What? Oh, So, like, takes you, I don't know, you're like, "What?"
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was really good.
Dry. And but I like dry sense of humor, so I don't know. Yeah. I guess it's not everybody's cup of tea.
Yeah.
I think it fit the character. He's not going to be some kind of hilarious,
Marvel hero.
Yeah, he's just not going to be like that.
Yeah.
So it fits him.
There was a lot of interesting theology in the movie.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
Which I can agree with some of it, but then other parts of it aren't super. And then, him and Angela have a conversation kind of early on when Constantine is trying to convince Angela that the world is full of demons and angels and stuff like that, where Angela says that she doesn't agree with the demonic influence because she believes as a cop that people are evil. Then John comes back to that with, yes, people are capable of bad things, but sometimes something comes along and gives us just the right nudge. I thought that was really interesting because, me and Maya and Miranda, our other sibling, all have this weird fascination with serial killers.
Yeah, I don't know why people keep emphasizing them. They're just giving people ideas. What is that about?
Well, yeah, and then I also think that, too, a lot of serial killers loved the attention that they also got, so I'm just like, dang, we're, like, giving them
exactly
what they want. But, a lot of them are dead. They don't know.
Yeah, but how many are there
interesting?
To fill their
but
places?
What Ryan was talking about was saying that, like, for sure some of those crazy people were definitely influenced by demons.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because I do agree with what Angela said. People are mostly evil. You can tell that from the very beginning when you don't teach kids negative things; they just pick it up.
Yes,
absolutely.
First word they learn is no. freaking mine. They learn to be mean to their siblings.
Yeah, like
it's
you
like
don't
nobody
teach them to throw tantrums. They just do that.
It's just part of human nature.
Yes.
To be selfish.
But I don't think it's part of human nature to kill people.
Yeah.
I don't think that. So I think that there's definitely a lot more to that. And there's definitely stuff with mental illness and all that. But I don't really know.
Well, it's amazing to me how biblical all that is. The Bible does say that people are evil.
Yes.
And it does say that we have those influences there. So that's... Plus, aside from that, it's amazing to me that it takes that and sort of makes it a prominent theme of the movie, because right now we're so inundated with positive, we have to be positive, and that's not bad, but people you have this sort of religious sort of movement that, people are inherently good, and we just need to get our act together or something like that. And it's like, yeah, okay. Yeah, so this movie, a prominent theme here is that people are evil, and we have to, make concessions for that. I mean, we just have to keep that in mind, because if we don't, here's what's going to happen.
Well, it's interesting to me how biblical the movie is, because you wouldn't expect the movie from Hollywood to be... I mean, obviously, it's also heavily influenced by Catholicism and just kind of mysticalness. Like, the devil kind of seems to be just as powerful as God, so...
Yeah, like he was able to take Isabel out of hell and send her to heaven.
Well,
I was like,
I think I have a theory about that, too.
But then he was also able to stop John from going to heaven.
Yeah, he was able to heal him and bring him back to life.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Yeah, so the devil seems to be incredibly powerful. I don't know, it's just... And maybe that's why the movie isn't well-liked by critics, is because of how...
Are you saying that, maybe the critics didn't really like it because of...
The biblical themes.
themes?
And then the Christian critics don't like it because of how demonic it is. And how it's not exactly accurate.
You have those inaccuracies. So you have some things that are very biblical, like the whole people are inherently evil thing, and yes, demons and angels do exist. Now, some of the theology is off, obviously, and that's probably what most mainstream Christians are going to say. Well, hold on a minute. Obviously, the devil's not as powerful as God, because the Bible absolutely does, there's just no comparison. So, but whether or not that was something that to me was a little bit, I don't know if it maybe was over my head or just wasn't understanding, but the whole issue with they couldn't be on this plane, because that demon was trying to come out of her and he wasn't supposed to do that. That wasn't allowed, So that to me was a little... I kind of didn't understand that part of it, because it seemed like the influences were supposed to be like, these half-breed people, demon things that were not true demons, and that if they broke the law, he sent them back. Yeah. So that to me was not totally clear.
I think that's where the theology goes away and the comic book influence comes in.
Okay.
Basically, this part's for people that have watched the movie, so you frickin' already know the whole half-breed thing. But basically, they have some really good theology in the movie, and then they have a lot of comic book influences that throw it in, or that they throw in, and it muddies everything up. And the whole concept of the world behind the world thing was really interesting, where it's like heaven, hell, and earth are all the same place. They're just like different planes of existence, which is also, I think, kind of in the Bible. With, we fight a spiritual warfare, not a physical one, and it's all in the same place. It's just so. It's not expressly stated, but I thought it was interesting, just because when you see hell, it's like it's the same city. It's just like in this constant state of nuclear explosion And then heaven is just like a happy version of LA. Like when he starts going to heaven, it's got like the same skyline. It's just a lot cloudier.
More clouds. More happy clouds.
One line that's interesting was because Angela, who is a devout Catholic, maintains that God has a plan for everybody. And then Constantine comes back to that with, God is a kid with an ant farm. He doesn't have a plan. But I don't think that's true in the universe. I think that's John's perspective, because at the end, when he sacrifices himself, then he goes to heaven. All of the work that he's been doing trying to earn his way to heaven isn't doing anything. But then when he sacrifices himself and is like, no, you can take me to hell, just send her sister up to heaven. That's what gets him into heaven, is sacrificing himself.
Yeah, and I think that is just a very cynical statement from him. Like you said, I don't think he actually believes that, and I get that feeling when he says it. Just that, no, okay. He's just angry. He's like an angry child. Yeah. When like an angry child, well, that's not fair.
Yeah.
Just because, I'm not, things aren't the way I think they should be, know. So that's kind of the feeling I get with that.
Yeah. So I think that might be some of the issue with the movie, is that it has theology in it, but then the theology isn't accurate completely, and so the Christian people hate it, and then the non-Christian people hate it because it has theology. So it's just hated by everybody. Some cool things that I wanted to point out. Gabriel, who kind of becomes the main villain, the Archangel Gabriel, he kind of becomes the villain because he's trying to summon the Antichrist, basically.
I don't think it's the Antichrist.
Well, it's the son of the devil.
It's the son of the devil.
Yeah, he's just trying to bring... I didn't get that. I thought he was just trying to bring a super... demon on Earth to wreak havoc, you know, so that everything could finally be decided.
Yeah. Well, okay, so...
But I'm a little offended by that, because I have a pretty happy connection with the angel Gabriel. So I'm a little upset that the angel Gabriel was made into a villain in this movie, but that's neither here.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
I did think it was interesting. Because, first of all, freaking cool eye effects in this movie.
Yes, it makes it a little easier to distinguish the demons from the people. That's also very helpful.
Super cool.
Helpful.
It's super simple effect. They just make their eyes look like dog eyes, like their pupils become a different color. Mm-hmm. And it's just, I get weak in the knees for cool eye effects. It was an interesting design, making the angels androgynous. Like, they don't really have a gender. Like,
I don't really like that one either, but it's something.
Just because, Gabriel is a male name, but he's played by a woman trying to look like a man. So it's like, you can't really tell.
But she doesn't look like a man.
Well,
it's very obvious.
No offense to Tilda Swinton. She's a super good actress.
Yes.
Because I know she's listening.
Yeah,
She's
seriously.
subscribed and just waits every Friday.
She emails us constantly.
Yeah, I know. We got to get her to stop. It's a bit too much.
We blocked her.
She is not entirely attractive.
Oh, yes,
So I think she played a man pretty good. But the motivations were really interesting. You don't really find it out until like the last 10 minutes. But it's really like evil motivation. She's summoning the son of the devil to Earth so that we can finally earn God's love, because she believes that we don't deserve it, or it believes that we don't deserve it.
Now that is an incredibly interesting concept. I feel like some of these writers must have been pretty intimate with details of the Bible, because I feel like that was a key issue for the angels that defected. So Lucifer and the rest of them.
His buddies.
And it's one of the reasons why those fallen angels hate us as human beings, and why they try so hard to influence us towards things that, would break God's laws, or, go against his prescribed order of things. So that was, to me, wow, somebody must have a pretty good knowledge.
Well, yeah, and then I also thought it was kind of cool that they did that because, I mean, obviously, like, her whole thing was, like, you don't deserve his love, and obviously she was a villain, so she was a crazy one. So it's like, yeah, none of us deserve his love,
insane.
but
no,
and he gives it anyway, but...
So, yeah, I don't know. It was just super good villain motivation.
Yeah.
It's kind of a shame that... Because, I mean, when you first meet Gabriel, you're just like... He's kind of just a prick to John.
Yes.
I mean, not really. I mean, John's more of a jerk than Gabriel is in their first interaction.
Wait, we're still talking about the movie, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
For a second, I thought you were referring to John from the Bible, and I was like, I don't remember this. I was like, excuse me, too.
No, John Constantine, when he first interacts with Gabriel, John is a jerk. And so you're kind of like, whatever, Gabriel, he's just kind of there. But then you find out it is the villain. It's just a shame it's not in more of the movie. Because, I mean, throughout the movie, it's like they're just trying to solve this mystery.
Seems like the guy in the suit.
Balthazar.
I don't like that whole Gabriel thing. It just really bothered me about the movie. I like the movie. I
think that they just had to choose. They wanted it to be an angel, and they chose a name that they could
people would
recognize. Yeah.
True. And the reason being was because I played the angel Gabriel in a production. I think I was like 5 years old.
Why have I never heard about it?
I know.
I'm sure I've said something. And
What?
I was so upset about it because the angel Gabriel obviously is supposed to be a boy, and I always felt as a child that I looked too much like a little boy because my mother would always cut my hair short. So I just hated that, but I wanted to be in the play. It was like a Christmas play at church, and so I had to play the angel Gabriel, and I had this whole line that I had to memorize, and I did it super well, and everybody was super proud of me. So that's why I really love the angel Gabriel. So for me, it's like for that angel to be a villain is a little bit upsetting.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that another thing that I have a problem with that is that I don't think that angels think that way.
Yeah.
No.
And I guess that's good that angel ended up being the villain, because I think that angels, for the most part, I don't know, but you gotta wonder though, because this is all a stage. They are watching us. So if that's the case, do we upset them like that? Do they look at us and go, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
Maybe.
Why would you make that decision?
Because angels aren't perfect. They're not like God.
Yeah, they party when somebody gets saved, right? So they have emotion.
They party.
Yes, they do. Party.
Getting lit. Up in heaven.
Don't say that.
But I think they have a reverence. They have a kind of reverence for God that we can't have.
Yeah.
Right.
At least at this point,
so that's a good point.
Earth.
I wonder if it is frustrating for them. Sorry, at angels.
But yeah, I think that the fact that he shows up later, it makes the movie more of a like cop drama, like NCIS, or so where they're trying to solve a mystery, and there is no real villain until they reveal at the end who has been behind it all.
Right.
Which is important. This will come up later.
Okay.
The movie is a procedural cop drama. Movie also has Shia LaBeouf before he became a motivational speaker telling people that they can do it. The whole "just do it." Just do it! It's my favorite thing ever. And he's super funny. He's a funny little kid. It's a shame that
he dies.
Yeah, which is also kind of unresolved.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well then who's supposed... Well, I guess he doesn't really need an apprentice now because he's not going to die, but I mean...
Yeah.
But they also just leave his body there.
I know! Just left him there.
Yeah. But they have an alternate ending where instead of on the roof, they're at a graveyard, and they're at
that would have made more sense.
Chaz's grave. But then they showed Chaz as an angel, and he like flies up.
Okay, well, see, that's not accurate.
But then I'm like, well, maybe because he was a demon hunter in life that he became an angel in death.
Okay.
I don't know. I thought that the ending, him becoming an angel, is a little weird. And I think that's why they didn't include it.
Yeah.
But at least it has some closure.
Just having, because you don't know, like, did he go to hell? Did he go to heaven?
Oh, he definitely went to heaven, you gotta understand.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. It would have been nice to get that, like, clear.
Yeah. To have closure would have been nice. But yeah, because he does a super good job. He's a funny little sidekick.
I love that role for him. Yeah. I think he does it so well. He does the same thing in iRobot. Is it iRobot?
I think he's an iRobot.
Yeah, it's like the same exact role where he's the plucky sidekick and he's got the sassy... Smith. Yes, he has a sassy, sassy mouth. And I think he plays the same sort of character as Sam Witwicky. In Transformers. It's just obviously he's the
lead.
Yeah, he's the lead. So I just love him in that. I just think
he adds so much. And then he became a serious actor.
Oh well.
yeah, he's an iRobot.
He was great in Holes.
Oh my gosh, one of the best movies ever.
It's a shame he went crazy.
Isn't he good now though?
No. He's still crazy.
I haven't heard much.
I think he's a little less crazy, but I think he reached a peak and then he's been
sort of leveled out there.
Anyway. And then another cool character is Midnight, played by. You said it last night. You say it again, Mom.
I'm not sure, and I hope I'm not butchering it. I love this guy. Yeah. I just every time he's in something, I just like, oh, it's Jimon Hansau.
Hey.
I think that's how you say it.
I
hope
like
that works.
Digimon.
DJ for short.
DJ. Yeah, no, he's a super good actor. I love his voice. Everything he's in. It's a shame he's not. He's always like a bit character. Yes. Like except in Push when he's the villain, and he's a freaking really good villain. We're probably going to cover that movie on the podcast too.
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh, such a good movie.
Chris Evans.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that movie.
Yeah, I like that movie a lot. But
Chris Evans.
I mean, he won an Academy Award for Blood Diamond, I think.
Oh, I haven't seen that one. Dad says it's good, though.
It is good. Except for the frickin' people that have watched this know the frickin' Jennifer Connelly's CGI tear, because apparently she couldn't muster up a tear.
Oh, no.
Anyway. It's so glaringly CGI. It's like, oh my god.
Oh, my.
Anyway. Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio does a really good Southern African accent. Anyway, not talking about that movie. And then he's in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he plays a villain that is just a lame villain.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the...
In the very beginning. He's in the very beginning.
Oh, yeah. Got it.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, I like that guy. He does a really good job as Midnight. He's a very, confident, modern-day witch doctor man.
I told the witch doctor I was in love with you.
Dum, dum, dum.
And then the part that I cannot get over, Peter Stormare playing the best interpretation of the devil.
Of Rucifer.
Third time making that
I think
joke.
You're a little in love with that guy. I don't know.
Oh
he's
my God.
super creepy.
He's such a good actor.
Every single time.
I feel like when you call the devil Rucifer, it demeans him. So I think that we should
he feels
that.
it and he gets just a little angry.
Let's try not to demean the super powerful beings.
Anyway, I think I'm good.
Anyway, he just shows up and in the coolest way, just freaking gross burning tar dripping.
Yeah,
and you're like, what the hell is that coming from? And
then you also don't know if it's God or Jesus or... Because he looks up when he says, hurry up or something, John.
Oh, is that what he says?
Yeah, he looks up, he's like, I don't know what exactly he says, but he looks up and he says it.
Oh, interesting.
He's like, we're running out of time, and then it shows the clock. Something like that about having to do with time.
The time stop effect is super cool.
Yeah.
Yes.
Apparently, according to the mythology, time works differently in hell. Basically, time stops on Earth. So a second in hell is like an hour. It's like forever.
A year.
Fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, just makes hell even worse. So don't go there.
Yeah.
Don't go there.
Make sure.
0 out of 10 would not go again.
Again.
But yeah, he's so... Peter Stormare freaking eats up the role. He's just so creepy and weird, and it's a good depiction of the devil, because the devil should be creepy. But he's also not, stereotypical.
Yeah, he's not red with horns and a tail.
Yeah, you see, it pans up and you see his gross tar feet, but then it pans back and he's wearing like a white suit and he looks like kind of a normal guy.
Yeah.
Except he's got like tattoos crawling up his neck and wrists, but it's such a good image because it's not friggin' red devil horns and a tail. It's a really good depiction. I like it a lot. And Peter Stormare is also in John Wick 2. Which also stars Yeah. But, yeah. I like Peter Stormare. I like him and everything he's in. He's usually a villain. I do like the sacrifice. Anytime there's a sacrifice character, I always like that. He was fully prepared to go to hell for the girl that he likes. I also like, sidebar real quick, the romance in the movie is really understated and almost non-existent.
Which makes it more appealing, in my opinion.
Yeah. The main characters never kiss. There's no... I mean, I think that there is some sexual tension, but it's not like... I mean, because they're an attractive man and an attractive woman.
Yeah.
Of course, there's going to be some tension there.
And they're going through this super...
traumatic
challenge, and it's like that's gonna obviously generate some kind of attraction. I think that probably the most sexual tension is when they're in the bathroom and he's thinking about it.
And then she gets all coy and then she's like, John. She wants to, anyway.
Oh my god.
But it's good. I like it. It's not overt. I mean, they do make some couple jokes with them almost kissing, and then John always is just getting close to either put a necklace on her or give her the spear of destiny.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's good. I like it. It's a good movie. This movie's good. Okay.
Yes.
People did not hate it.
It most definitely is.
But yeah, he sacrifices himself for the girl that he might or might not like, and because he wants her sister, who was just trying to stop the end of the world, and she kills herself to stop herself from being used as a vessel to be sacrificed, and then because he sacrifices himself, he finally gets the redemption that he wants.
Yeah, I think that the sacrifice is also another theme that it's just one of those themes that people gravitate towards.
Yeah.
And I think that that's because I just think we're programmed that way as human beings. And it's why the story of Christ is so appealing to us, so that's definitely... Yeah,
and why in media, I don't know why I said medium on the last podcast. In media, why I always like that theme. I mean, even if the hero doesn't win, if he sacrifices himself, he still really wins. One of the main complaints... from our favorite movie critic, Roger Ebert. So this is a complaint, okay? Reeves has a deliberately morose energy level in the movie, as befits one who has seen hell, walks among half-demons, and is dying. How is that a complaint?
I don't think that's a complaint. I just think that's an observation.
Yeah, it's like, that sounds like he's doing a good job acting, which is odd for Keanu Reeves.
I don't know that it's odd. I think that he excels in certain types of roles. Yeah. That's what I think. Yeah. I mean, he was in a production of Much Ado About Nothing.
Oh, God.
And that was a little painful to watch. Because I love the guy, and it's like, oh, no. It just wasn't the right role.
I thought this role
but it's always a cool thing to see him, in my opinion. Yeah. Got a little bit of a crush there. But,
yeah, me too.
Thanks for telling me. Yeah, so, I think he did a great job. I don't think that is a criticism.
Yeah, but he gave the movie 1.5 out of 4 stars. Yeah. So, he didn't like it. The consensus on Rotten Tomatoes was, despite solid production values and an intriguing premise, Constantine lacks the focus of other spiritual shoot-'em-up, The Matrix. How are you comparing these two movies?
Yeah, I just don't see that. I don't see The Matrix as with an emphasis on spiritual.
Well, I think because of the whole, it's supposed to be the story of Jesus or whatever. The Matrix. That's why they're calling it spiritual.
Yeah, maybe, but you don't really get that until you get to the end of the story. So, you know, I mean, you don't know what's going to happen, you know, up at that point. If you're just talking about the Matrix, not the, you know, the trilogy.
Well, the thing is, this movie isn't a shoot 'em up. Like I said earlier,
this
that's
movie true. It's
is
really
a procedural
not. There's
cop
really
drama.
only that one part where
he's
shooting all those people that have been taken over by demons.
I think they were half-breeds.
Oh, all of them?
Yeah.
Wow.
That was the implication I got. Yeah, I just don't understand comparing those two. It makes...
I don't either.
I mean, other than the fact that they both star Keanu, there's no... What? It's just... Ugh. So dumb. Anyway. So yeah, basically, this movie's good.
Yep.
Hopefully you've already watched it, and you paused it at the spoiler warning, and went and watched it on Netflix, because I'm pretty sure everybody has Netflix. I'm pretty sure that's a fact.
Not everybody.
Who doesn't have Netflix?
I don't know. Probably old people.
Pretty sure they have Netflix.
Not all of them.
No, not all of them.
But yeah, good movie.
Now it's time for some fun facts.
Dun, 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 dun.
Because we did this on the Infinity War episode, I decided that because I'm in charge, and this is my show, that we're going to have a fun facts section. So continuing the cool guy Keanu train, because, for those who don't know, Keanu Reeves is the coolest actor in Hollywood.
True.
As a human being. He might not be the most
so
talented.
Hollywood.
He bought the holy shotgun prop and gave it to the director as a gift.
That's cool. I hope he really wanted it.
Probably.
What?
Oh, the movie's also directed by the guy who did the last 3 Hunger Games movies.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, Catching Fire and then the 2 Mockingjays.
Those were amazing movies.
Yes.
So, but I didn't understand that whole shotgun thing because I thought it was supposed to have dragon fire.
It did.
What?
Yeah, it was so cool.
Yeah, it did. It was like
But then they made bullets for it.
Yeah, it had both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when he first shoots it, you see it's got 2
I want one of those guns.
holes. But anyway, the Spear of Destiny prop is the same one used in Hellboy, which came out the year before.
Which one?
The first one. Yeah. All
Also
you do in Hellboy, I think they see it in the glass case. So nobody ever really interacts with it like they do in this movie. But it's the same one. Because it's, I think both Warner Brothers. I think Warner Brothers also made Hellboy. Anyway, according to the director's commentary on the DVD, the rag that Constantine lights on fire to defeat the flying demons is a piece of Moses' shroud given to him by Beeman.
Well, that is good to know because I was wondering.
Yeah, there's a lot of
No, I'm serious.
stuff.
I know it was really dry, but it's like, what is he using to eradicate all those demons?
Yeah, I think there was another thing that he uses that they mention, like what it is. But I just thought it was interesting that it apparently had history.
Yeah.
And they never address it in the movie. But that makes sense because it's the thing that Moses used to cover his face after he was shown the afterglow of Jesus.
Right.
So it's soaked in the afterglow of God.
Jesus.
And so when he lights it on fire, it freaking kills everybody. All the demons. Anyway, that's a cool little piece of friggin' biblical trivia.
Proving, boys and girls, that Jesus is a lot more powerful than demons.
Yes.
True.
According to an interview with the AV Club published on August 28th, 2017, Peter Stormare came up with his own costume design for the appearance of Lucifer. The off-white linen suit with tar dripping down from his feet are specifically mentioned. The producer and director had initially wanted leather pants, quote-unquote leather pants, bare-chested, a dog collar with spikes, and tattoos over Stormare's face and chest.
So would have been more stereotypical.
Yeah, that would have been super lame.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He did a good job.
Leather pants.
Yeah, I can't. That's like freaking Hades from the Lightning Thief movie, Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief.
Oh, right.
I hate that.
Right.
I like the actor they chose for that complete derailing of Train. I like the actor they picked, but in the book, he is the only Greek god who is supposed to be all like regal and still in his Greek robes. But in the movie, they reverse it, and then they make him like a freaking lead singer of a band. And it's just so lame. Anyway.
Not that there's anything wrong with punk rockers.
Yeah, but Hades is not a punk rocker. The original script has hell as a black void with a floor covered with oil, which I thought was interesting because that's what Hades' feet are covered in.
Oh.
So I guess his design is
what
harkening
would
back.
that do, though? I mean, that just has no... I'm kind of happy they didn't...
Black voids with oil sounds pretty terrifying to me.
Terrifying.
I know, but you'd just be
can't
falling
see
the whole
anything.
time. I mean, you would just...
That sounds like
that sounds
drowning
pretty
in oil.
terrible.
Yeah.
Okay,
But I do like what they did because because I mean the way they, again, you've already seen the movie if you're listening to this, or you should have. Hell is like constantly in the midst of a nuclear explosion, like constantly like being battered with crazy winds and fire and stuff. So it's a much more dynamic image than a black void.
Yeah, well, you can't see anything.
But I just thought that fact was interesting because of Lucifer's, the same thing. Lucifer's final design. That's pretty much all for Constantine. Any closing thoughts?
Constantine. That's my clothing. Ooh,
I just
that's
wanna
my closing
mention-
thought.
I love it when Midnight continues to pray for Constantine.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Even though
like,
he-
whatever.
Are you kidding
Walks
me?
away.
Yeah.
So I was happy about that.
Yeah.
So
Freaking cool guy DJ. Now it's time for Maya's Mention.
Not a ding ding ding.
No.
ding ding
Not this
ding.
time.
The movie that I'm going... Wait, do I explain it first?
First few times, dude.
I didn't do it last week. I messed
we
up
didn't
with the week
have-
before.
And now you're messing up again.
This segment is just for like random movies that aren't controversial or anything. Like movies we're not going to do for the main event because, well, some of them might not be super well known or they just...
They might be good.
Yeah.
People
They're
like
good.
them.
And just like movies that, like rom-coms, that kind of thing, not like super action-y deep movies that we do for the main event.
Yes.
So, the movie that I'm going to mention today, I'm really excited about because I read the book when it like came out because the author is one of my favorite authors. Her name is Jenny Han. She wrote one of my favorite series, The Summer I Turned Pretty, and then she came out with this book.
Movie.
No, she came out with the book first. And it is called To All the Boys I've Loved Before. It's really good. And yeah, they put I was just on Netflix the other day and it just came up and I think they had just put it on.
Yeah, it's a
And I was
Netflix
like,
original.
Yeah, I freaked out because I didn't know that they were coming out with a movie. Even though me and my little sister Liesel, we started sending memes to each other about the movies, and then I was scrolling up on Instagram, like in our chat, and she had sent me the trailer like a few weeks ago, and I was like, I did not see that.
Nice.
I was like, what the heck? It was really random. But yeah, it's really good. Just for like a very, very quick summary, it's just about this girl who writes love letters whenever she like had a crush on a boy and she was just over it, and she was like, it's like basically just writing in your diary.
Yeah.
And then her little sister ends up sending the letters. It's only to like 5 boys, I think, so it just like completely tosses her life upside down.
Yeah.
And just that's why I love the book. It's just because the concept was just so like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Like that would be terrifying if you woke up one day and you realized that your
little sister.
Yeah, well, just she doesn't even figure out it's her little sister until like the end of the movie in the book, but like just to realize that like, oh my god, my diary is out there for
everyone to read.
Well, not everyone, but like the important people.
Yeah.
And especially because she's in high school. She's a junior in high school, so it's like, oh. I mean, even if not that I even have a diary, but if I did and it got out, even now, it would be terrifying.
Yeah.
So.
And Laura Jean, the main character,
Lara,
is a middle sister, which I'm sure you have no connection to at all.
Yeah.
It was actually, it was pretty entertaining. I mean, it's your typical high school drama movie, but it was really well acted and really good freaking, like, cinematography. I mean, I know Netflix is getting a really big budget nowadays.
Yeah, they have some pretty good ones.
Yeah, and it's not a CGI heavy movie at all. I don't think there are any special effects.
Yeah, like
Doesn't
you could
sound
tell
like
that
you need them,
everybody's
though.
at like they use real sets and stuff.
Yeah.
Really good. The soundtrack's pretty good.
Oh yeah, the soundtrack's really good. I did really like the cinematography. There's very little camera movement, and so it makes it a lot easier to focus on who's talking. And there's one shot in particular when they're on the ski trip, possible light spoilers, where she's having a conversation with one of her friends, and the shot, because they're in a hotel, there's the 2 beds, and there's the lamp nightstand in the middle, and the camera is in the middle in line with the lampstand, and the 2 kids are sitting on one side, and it's one shot. It allows for good acting, because it's all one continuous take.
Yeah.
So
it's just like a really like if you're still in high school, you can relate to it. If you have graduated high school, it kind of makes you miss high school just a little bit. But at the same time, I'm just like, does anybody actually have this dramatic of an experience in high school? Because wow.
Yeah.
Like I would not have survived. But
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a movie, so it's all blown out of proportion.
Yeah, exactly. But it's funny. It's entertaining.
Yeah.
It makes you cry. Makes you laugh. And if you go watch it and they get enough views, they will do a second one.
Oh, definitely.
Did they say that somewhere?
Yeah, I looked her up on Instagram and the boy, Noah, I can't remember her. I think her name's, his name's like Noah. But I found them on the popular page actually because it was like trending. Because the movie had just like came out. They were saying that if they were like promoting the movie and they were like, go watch it so we can make a sequel. And the sequel, well, the book anyway, the movie doesn't follow the book super well, and I'm reading the book again because I was like, wait, when I watched the movie I was like, I don't remember. And I was like, yeah, there's actually a lot of things I didn't do. And one of the things that I didn't like the most was that they changed his motivation for dating her. In the movie he wants, and the spoilers, in the movie he wants to date her so that Jen will get back together with him. In the book, he dates her so that Jen won't want to get back. Like, he disassociates himself. Yeah, and I was like, that's really annoying because I feel like in the book he's a better guy then. For being like, hey, I mean, obviously it's like silly, it's ridiculous, but I feel like it's better because he's like, I don't want to be in this relationship with this girl, and if she sees that I'm with you, it'll
deter
like
her.
Oh. So I was like, why did they change that? But yeah, it annoyed me a little bit. But it's still a good movie.
It just makes it more sneaky than...
Yeah, exactly.
Like, why do you gotta be sneaky?
Yeah, and then I feel like in the book you kind of believe it more that he likes her. Because in the movie it was just like... I mean, I know you were frustrated with it, but I could understand. Because it was like the reason that they started the whole thing was so that he could get back with Jen. But yeah, anyways. So I feel... Yeah, anyways. But yeah, so if they make a sequel... It's called P.S. I Still Love You. It's just as frustrating as the first one. But
I don't know. That's not.
And there's a third one. There's a third book. There's a third book, but I haven't bought it yet. No. I need to buy it.
Yeah, it's on Netflix, so it's entertaining. We have a couple emails.
What? Whoa.
Maya's gonna read the emails.
First, I think... Okay, so the first one says, first I think you should review Sucker Punch.
Which
I think that's a good one.
Yeah, I think we'll actually do that next week.
Didn't we talk... Yeah. That was one of our suggestions. It also says, if Ryan talks about Kingdom Hearts for one whole podcast... What? I think Kamea should be able to review a Lego video game of her choosing. Correct. I already know which one.
But I haven't spent a whole podcast talking about Kingdom Hearts, so...
This one says, so everyone asks, where's Miranda? Some ask, who's Miranda? And a few ask, why's Miranda? But does anyone ever ask, how's Miranda?
Simple answer,
I mean,
no.
I feel like she's fine. We could give her a call to confirm.
But
I feel like she's good. Because if she wasn't good, I feel like we'd know.
Yeah, she's pretty good at sharing her feelings.
Yes, indeed.
We could also probably just open the door and ask.
So, if you guys want to suggest movies, because now that's the movie we're doing next week, is Sucker Punch. If you have suggestions, questions, comments, you can leave them on YouTube, but I probably won't read them, because I'm sure they'll be full of negativity. And we're trying to combat that. The email is yourpositivereview yourpositivereview@gmail.com. That's
yourpositivereview@gmail.com.
And you can also follow us on Instagram at
Your Positive Review.
Be positive, kids.
Yes. And also remember, well liked or panned, every story has a positive, and you're not alone in finding it.
Bum-ba-da-bum.
Dun.
Wait, what's my song? Paw Patrol to Major Tom. Maybe one day I'll actually sing it nicely, so it sounds really serious. I think that's what I need to get better at for the podcast as a whole, is when I create jingles, actually sing them in a serious voice, so it sounds nice. But I'm also sick,